Good morning. In this video, I wanted to show how we could write an app script that would take the data that you might have on sheet 1 and back it up to a temp sheet. So here's our temp sheet, it's empty. Here's our sheet 1. We might be putting data on here, it might be coming and going. Let's see how we could write a script to put this data automatically over to here. So I am in app script on this sheet, so it's attached to this sheet. And let's start by writing a function. So our function, so we'll call it backup sheet, and our open brackets and our curly brackets. Our first const will be spreadsheet. We're going to get the active spreadsheet. And then we're going to get our source sheet, ss.getSheetByName. Then we'll get destination sheet. That's going to be temp. And then we'll move on and get the range. And the range is our source sheet. And it's going to be the range of row 1, column 1, get the last row, and then we want to get the last column. So we can pick up whatever data is in that source sheet. And we want to get those values. And then what we're going to do is take that range, the destination range, we're going to set that up. We're going to get the last row plus 1. We're going to use the start in column 1. And we're going to get the length of the range. And we're going to get the length in columns of the range. And then we'll add dot set values. The values we'll set is R, which is the range, and which is the values we got with our const R. And then we'll go ahead and save, and we'll run it, and let's see what happens. It looks like it's executed just, and we can see when we run that script, we take the data from sheet 1, and it pops over to sheet 2 without the correct formatting. Now if we were to run it again, go ahead and run it and take a look, you'll see that we'll end up getting the data repeated. Now if we didn't want the data to repeat, so as we see, if we keep running it, we're going to keep getting the data, but if we want to not get that data, what we'll do is we'll put in the get range of the destination. We'll get all of range A to Z, and we'll clear that. And then when we run that, and let's go back and so we saved, we ran, and then what you'll see is it erases all the data before it writes the new data. We might want to make this easier to work on by adding a button. We're going to put in a shape here. We'll just call it real quick backup. We're going to use this to execute our script so we can execute it from the sheet. Save and close, we get our backup. Now what we want to do is make sure that we write that script name correctly, so we'll highlight backup sheet, and we'll come back here, we'll click the 3 dots, assign script, paste that script in so we have it spelled correctly. Now when we run this script, you can see we have this data, and we're going to go ahead and that's our data on our sheet 1. Let's replace that data with something different. And then we'll come over here and run our script, and notice, there we go. We got that new data backed up to our temp. So depending on whether you want an archive of the data as it might be from time to time, or you want to erase it, and here, just to show that again clearly, if I comment out the clear piece, and then we come back to our sheet, and we run the backup, you'll see that it's going to add to the amount of data that we have in there, rather than having it erase the data. So again, you can go back and forth to decide which one of those works best for you. When I run that, it's going to clear the data and then write the data. So it all depends on how you want to use this backup feature, as a temporary storage of what might be changing, or an archive.